Might have to take you home at some point. And good morning. It is a beautiful morning. It's time for the first federal program. Filling in for Dick Belcher once again this week. Evan Gottschalk.
Hi,
Good
Paul.
morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me back.
Hey, glad to have you here.
This really is a beautiful morning for reals this time.
Yes. Yeah, I'm not just making it up.
No, thank you for being accurate. We're excited about maybe some good weather. Kind of had a little cold snap.
Yeah.
I'm tired of adjusting the thermostat. Nobody's been happy at our house for a while with these changing temperatures.
No.
So ready to get back on one slide towards summer, I think, don't you?
Yes.
Maybe we're close. I don't know. I'd like to be able to count on something right now. That would be...
We'll count on warm temperatures tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. There we have it. Hey, Governor Holcomb's set to speak today. He's been speaking really every day, but today was the day that the stay-at-home order officially expires, so we're looking for some more guidance on what the state government is recommending that we do. So we're eagerly watching that for that announcement on what he might say and what the plan is going to be.
Yeah.
You seem eager too, so I
Yes.
appreciate that.
I wanted to, yeah, I'm so eager, I was speechless for a second. I'm ready for it to open back up. I know it's not going to be, hey, we're back to normal today.
No,
but
it won't.
I'm excited to see what gets to open up because I need a haircut.
Yeah. Yes, we do.
Yeah, right there with you.
And we know that we want the economy to work. We want business owners to be profitable and enjoying some profits for the risks they're taking, having local businesses. And we're actually going to be talking about that with Fulton County Chamber of Commerce Executive Director Jillian Smith today. So we're looking forward to that. She'll be our guest a little bit later. But one of those businesses set to open today, Tanner's smiling really
I got a
big.
little pep in my step this morning.
So this is really happening.
Yeah,
Okay, tell us what it is. What's the news?
Round Barn Golf Club at Mill Creek is opening today, so golfers can go out there. Of course, there are some safety restrictions. 1 person per cart, 1 bag per cart. And it doesn't matter if you're living in the same household, it's still 1 person per cart.
Okay.
Pins are in at all times. Don't touch the pin. And then they have a piece of a pool noodle, like a foam pool noodle, in the cup, so the ball slightly goes in the cup, so you can reach in and get your ball, so it doesn't go all the way.
That's nice.
In the cup.
Well, when you haven't golfed for so long, it doesn't really matter what the restrictions are, does it?
So I think the clubhouse is still closed,
Okay.
so they're not going to be, there's no hot dogs or sandwiches you can get. I don't think you can even go in and use the restroom. So it's all on their website.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but they're open today, so
Might be tougher to have a business meeting out there if you
a little bit.
a little more separation, but
Yeah.
Yeah. Tanner's already decided once he gets done here, he's
yeah,
checking out for the day.
productivity at First Federal just took a big hit today.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm happy it's open. I know a lot of the local courses around the area have been open now, so it's
Good. Well, that's
nice
a
to
great
get it
development.
going.
Step 1, right?
Step 1, exactly.
That's awesome. Okay, trivia time. This has gotten to be a pretty tense moment over the last few weeks, part of the show. We're working with the kind of some chamber trivia
Yeah,
here this morning. So Paul's got a great shot at this one.
I think so.
You can tell that the confidence is really bubbling up
Got
there.
to start a new
Yes.
streak.
How many businesses are listed on the business directory search on our chamber's website? Is it A, 156, B, 256, or 356? And
I was staring.
your friend Jillian cannot help you.
Yeah, she looked away. She knew what I was doing, trying to get some type of reaction from her.
These numbers too, they 256. Is that like a color palette number? 256. I'm trying to think back to your early computer days.
Yeah.
Seems like these are familiar
Yeah.
numbers to me that I've now lost.
I went
Yeah.
in and I counted every single one, so
Okay, well,
it's on me and my
Wow.
counting ability.
Well,
Wow.
that accounting degree was elusive.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think you
accounting.
switched that up, didn't you?
When
So,
did the public
we may need an auditor later
Yeah.
for these
That's
numbers,
why I
and
can't find the number.
maybe Jillian can
There's
help
a
us out
reason I was a
with
public relations major.
that. But I love your hopeful attitude,
Yeah.
Tanner. You'll do whatever it
Anytime.
takes. All right, the sporting world. Have some things been coming around like the golf course? Are we seeing anything coming here?
Well, yesterday NASCAR announced they are racing in 2 weeks without fans, but NASCAR will be back in 2 weeks. So
That's great.
They're kind of the first sporting organization or league to kind of
step out
we're
there.
gonna step up and do it. So
Would they have been the league you expected after all the chatter the last few weeks?
them or golf,
Okay.
yeah. And I mean they've been doing the iRacing on Sundays.
Yeah, that's kind of
That's
interesting.
been going all right for them. So
That's a neat little
yeah.
way to still keep things going.
Yeah, they've been creative with
Yeah,
what they've
very
been doing,
creative.
and I think it's smart on NASCAR because their popularity and their ratings have been going down the last few years. If they can get out ahead of the other ones, their ratings and the interest might go up because it's going to be something to watch.
It's an incentive to take a little risk for them.
Exactly.
Oh, that's
so,
neat.
So they're doing that. The PGA is still scheduled to start in mid-June. No fans, at least for the first 4 tournaments.
Okay.
And then they're going to reevaluate that. But you are seeing some colleges now starting to at least get in the planning stages of getting students on campus in the fall. University of Iowa plans to get all their athletes to be able to at least weight train, if not practice, on June 1st. They came out with
Wow.
that yesterday.
That's
their
impressive.
plan for now. They're kind of the first university to come out and say.
Well, I'm an optimist, so
Yeah.
I kind of like that type of.
Yeah.
You can always scale it back if you need to,
Yeah,
but that's
so,
great.
So so a lot of colleges are starting to kind of take that approach.
Good.
At least try to play on the positive side. If we need to scale back, we'll scale back. But,
Judging just from myself, like any headline like that just starts to give me more and more enthusiasm and hope about what's going to be coming. So that's great to hear that.
and speaking of college, while we're on there was a big, I guess you could call it bombshell, but a big decision made by the NCAA board this week. They announced it's going to support a rule change that will allow student athletes to receive compensation from third-party endorsements, both related to and separate from athletics, starting in January of 2021.
Oh wow!
It also supports compensation for other opportunities, including social media.
Wow.
So starting in January, we will see athletes be able to get paid through endorsements.
So this wouldn't be paid through the schools or paid
Nope,
from
the
other
schools will
third
not
party?
have
This seems
anything to do
fairly
with that.
reasonable, doesn't it?
Yep, I'm sure there'll be some instances that come up. One thing I was seeing yesterday was how do you stop a booster
Right.
from going to a car dealership, giving them $100,000 or whatever. Hey, try to recruit this athlete for us. The car dealership could say, hey, so and so, you come to the school, we'll pay you $100,000 and be in commercials for us. So they're gonna have to kind of come up with some compliance, I'm sure, and everything. But it's gonna be interesting.
It's going to pay well to be a good athlete.
I think,
in college.
yeah, exactly. I mean, and it'll be interesting to see which athlete's the first one for a national brand, like a Wheaties or a Pepsi or something to try to get. But
Do you think this will get more athletes to stick around in college with those sports that?
I think
I've
so, and it's
struggled with
interesting
that.
timing because we're seeing a lot of elite basketball recruits starting to say they're not going to go to college and they're going to go straight to the developmental G League for
Yes.
the NBA because they're willing to pay them 6 figures.
Wow.
$100,000, so they could go play right away for $100,000 instead of going to college for 1 year and leaving. We're starting to see some athletes do that, so I think it's smart of the NCAA to get ahead of this now
Yep.
and try to get some of those elite athletes at least to come to school for a year.
Yep. I like that.
So I think it's a good move overall. It's definitely got to
Something
change things.
Something needed to change,
Yeah.
though. It
Yeah.
just the status quo was getting pretty stale and
Yep.
contentious. So.
If you would have said this 10 years ago, probably would have said you're crazy, but things have changed so much within the last decade of how student athletes are viewed.
That's right.
It was trending towards this, so it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out, but I think it's a good thing in the long run.
2021.
Yep,
Okay.
January 2021. Also, in college sports, I meant to mention this last week, didn't have time. Notre Dame women's basketball coach Muffet McGraw retired after 33 years. She had 923 wins, including 2 national championships, so
Wow.
very successful time at Notre Dame, to say the least.
Oh man.
The replacements got big shoes to fill, and the replacement's Neil Ivey. And
She played there, didn't she?
She played there. She's been a part of all 9 of the Final Four appearances as a player or assistant coach. She had been an assistant coach until last year. She left and became an assistant for the Memphis Grizzlies.
Wow.
She was a woman assistant in
That's
the NBA, and she did that to try to develop her skills to where she could become a head coach. Then this came open, and they literally announced her as the replacement about 15 minutes after Muffin announced she was retiring. So I think it was planned for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she had already got the number 2 recruit in the nation to commit.
Wow.
So
I like those kind of succession strategies
Yep.
rather than
it
all
was well thought out. And,
Yeah, they didn't lose anything.
yeah. And it might have been in place when she left for the Grizzlies. I don't know. I mean, it might have.
Yeah.
They might already know. Whenever Muffin decides, we'll call you back if you're interested.
I've enjoyed how Butler's done their coaching successions and their philosophy there. It's just
Yep.
kind of been something I've enjoyed.
There's
over
right
the
ways
years.
to do it.
Yeah.
So, and the interesting thing also is Neil Ivy's son, Jaden Ivy, is going to be a freshman basketball player at Purdue next year. He was one of the top players in the state this past year. So, glad they got him signed, sealed, and delivered before his mom took him. So, don't have to worry about that now. Him changing his mind. So,
Yeah, that's what you
Yeah.
think.
yeah, well, at least he's signed. Not just committed, he is signed. So, I don't think he can get out of it.
Okay.
And then the last sports note I had down was The Last Dance is still going on Sunday nights on ESPN and ESPN2 at 9 o'clock. If you haven't checked that out, documentary about the last year of Michael Jordan and the Bulls' successful 6 championship reign. It's really interesting.
They've done it a little differently than I was expecting when I knew it was going to be about the last season, and it really kind of is neat how they're weaving in all of the history
Yeah.
of that team, of those teams.
Focusing on something different every episode or
Mhm.
a few individuals. So
Yeah.
I think this weekend's it's got to focus on the Bulls matchup against the Blazers in the finals in the early 90s, then Jordan's marketing, and then his relationship with Kobe Bryant, which will be really interesting, maybe a little tough to watch now with everything that...
Now you won't remember this, Tanner, but back in the day there was a video game called Bulls vs. Blazers.
And I remember that.
Yeah, they couldn't use Michael Jordan's name, so it was just number 23.
Oh,
But it was Clyde Drexler and against the Bulls, and it was kind of
that sounds pretty cool.
a neat video game at the time.
Didn't know that existed.
Those older video games, they never seem to be able to use the proper names.
No.
So you always ended
Have
up
the
with
name
somebody
likeness.
different.
Yep.
It'd be like Michael
Yeah.
Schlorden or something, They'd always change something in his name.
I bet you could still find that on eBay.
I bet
if
you
you're
could.
really interested.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go look that up just to see it.
I'm sure it was on a few systems. I don't
Yeah.
remember what.
That's
I
pretty
didn't
neat.
have it, but I remember playing it.
But it's been a very good documentary. It's talked about every Sunday night all over social media, so check it out if you haven't had a chance to. Got some tidbits here this morning. On this day in 1931, the Empire State Building opened up.
Never been. Have you been there?
I have not. I've been to New York twice, but never the
Yeah, same
Empire
here.
State Building. So,
Paul?
No, never been
Okay.
to New York.
There's a goal for us,
there you
guys.
go.
When things open back up, I'll see you at the top.
That's on the bucket
We
list.
should do a movie about that.
We'll take a trip together.
We'll meet there one day.
Yeah.
Facebook Live. On this day in 1939, Batman first appeared in Detective Comics number 27.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I like Batman.
Oh, yeah. On this day in 1941, General Mills introduced Cheerios, which would later be renamed Cheerios in 1945.
Marketing genius.
There you go. Bunch of different Cheerio flavors now. On
They're
this
all
day,
good, too.
They are good, all of them. I'm a fan. On this day in 1957, Larry King first had his first radio broadcast.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow, that
Just a
one.
few years ago.
That caught me by surprise a little bit. Interesting.
And on this day in 1991, I feel like I talked about this guy a lot, but Texas Rangers starter Nolan Ryan pitched an MLB record 7th no-hitter as the Rangers beat the Blue Jays 3-0. It was at age 44.
Oh my gosh.
Ryan still is the oldest person to throw a no-hitter. And I want to correct my mistake. Last week I said he had never won a World Series. He won one with the 1969 Mets. That was my mistake.
Thanks, Tanner, for clearing that up.
Bothered me all week.
Yeah.
And lastly, on this day in 1999, the animated series SpongeBob SquarePants debuted on Nickelodeon.
That got you through your childhood, probably.
Yeah,
didn't it?
I remember watching it when I was younger. So
I didn't watch it when it debuted, but my kids
Yeah.
are huge fans, so
It's
I
a-
have seen
Pretty
it.
popular
It's a
still.
quirky little
episode.
show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
still
it's
pretty
kind of
popular.
funny.
and today is National Tuba Day. It's also Global Love Day,
It's a tough one.
Space Day, Purebred Dog Day, School Bus Drivers Day,
Hey, I like that one.
Hey.
Executive Coaching Day, one we really like here at First Fed, New Homeowners Day,
Ooh,
and School Principals Day.
that's great.
So a bunch of days.
It's fun to recognize those folks
Yeah.
that are
Yeah.
in positions of leadership.
Yep.
Hey, we actually have 2 events I'm excited about that.
I like
See,
that.
the spring thaw is here.
Yes.
Fulton County Animal Center is having a pet food drive-through pantry in the parking lot today from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. while supplies last. And if the recycling opening for a couple days is any indication, you might want to get there early. People are looking to get out and get something done, so it could be pretty busy. Supplies may not last. You can receive a 1-gallon bag of dog food per household, 1 quart bag of dog treats per household, and 1-gallon bag of cat food per household. That's pretty nice. And also, the park board is giving away 400 seedlings on May 9th. So if you need a tree to plant, then there you go. We're excited about that. We wanted to give some flowers this morning to our first responders and healthcare workers here in Fulton County. Just an awesome job of leadership in times like this, very selfless. We appreciate everything that they've been doing and will continue to do to help get us through this crisis and this pandemic, and we appreciate them so much. Also, the Fulton County Community Foundation purchased a steer this week. It's being processed by Hoosiers Feeding the Hungry, and it's a nonprofit organization that helps process livestock, and then they donate the meat to local food pantries. So Matthews Market is going to help distribute that local meat to our Fulton County food pantries. And we love it when there's multiple groups coming together to work together to help solve opportunities in our community, and that was a great example to get some protein into our food pantries, which is kind of a little bit of a shortage there right now. So that's great. Money news, the Dow had a good week, 2% so far up this week. But really, they had an amazing month. Best in 33 years, Paul.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Up, let's see, 15% just in April. So kind of hit the low there and then roared back. Still down that 15% for the year. Futures are down a little bit today. And really, when you look at, there's been a lot of corporations telling how much they've earned, what their earnings per share has been in the first quarter. And they're not really giving much guidance on the rest of the year, which is unusual. Usually they'll say, and this is what we expect the rest of the year.
Right.
But there's so much uncertainty out there. They're not saying a whole lot because they don't know. So investors really aren't sure what to do with that either. What does that mean? So it's really an interesting time on Wall Street, knowing how healthy something is or what the uncertainty means or where you should be investing your money. So interesting and kind of to watch that and see how that develops as we continue on this journey. Okay, one interesting note, movies. You can't go to the movie theaters for the past few weeks.
No.
That's been a bummer, right?
Yes.
Well, one of the first movies to skip the movie theaters and go straight to streaming was Trolls World Tour. Did you guys rent that?
We did not.
Okay, we haven't yet either, but we're some of the few households that haven't. It's grossed $100 million in rental fees in the 3 weeks that it's been available on streaming channels. And that may change the movie release landscape forever.
Yeah, I
some
saw
ways. So we'll be
AMC
interesting.
theaters are saying they're not going to run Universal movies.
So they're upset about it because they got skipped in the value chain. So it'll be interesting to see how this all works out. That's when streaming's really coming on. It's already been a topic of debate and how best to release these. And I think normally you have to wait 2 months before you can release it on streaming. So see how that works out. The main topic for First Federal today, mortgage rates are really, really low. So come refinance your mortgage loan with us, or if you're looking to buy a house, you can get more house right now than you could have a month ago because of such low rates. So we would be excited to help you with that. We take a lot of pride in our abilities and expertise in home lending, and this is a great time to look into that. We can help you out, get lined up, and figure out what you want to do. And even if that's not now, maybe it helps you understand what you need to do to be in a position to do that in the future. We've got a lot of different programs, including a first-time home buyer. It's first-time home buyer day, or whatever Tanner said. I like that. That fits well.
Yeah.
So give us a call, 223-2128, or visit our website, www.firstfederalbanking.com. And you can actually, there's an online loan application right there, a link on our homepage. So we'd love to help you out with that. We also have commercial lending, financial services such as retirement planning and investing. So we can help you A to Z. And the checking account gift changed now, Paul. So if you want to refer a friend, it's a picnic blanket. Just
Okay.
what you needed to survive this pandemic. Really?
Yeah.
Okay, we are a member FDIC and equal housing lender, NMLS number 399927. Well, I want to invite Jillian Smith to step right up to the microphone. Whoa.
Good morning.
Don't mind me. Don't mind me.
I was working the equipment over here,
Yeah.
the bongo drums.
Trying to.
Jillian is the Executive Director of Fulton County Chamber of Commerce. I imagine you've been fairly busy these last few weeks.
We've been very busy. I think my phone rings with different calls, oh goodness, a couple times an hour. Each call lasts quite a while, but we're here helping our businesses, having regular discussions with other community leaders, with Terry Lee, with FedCo. We're busy,
That
to
shows,
say the least.
that shows that you're in a great position of leadership, Jillian, to be working with all these folks, trying to keep things moving forward for our community in this time. We appreciate that you've been doing that. Let's start at the beginning. How long have you been at the chamber now? This time is flying, I think.
Oh man, okay. It's been almost 2 years.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. You've been doing a lot since then. There's been several changes even before we got into this pandemic situation. Is there any particular accomplishment or memory that you have of this first 2 years as executive director?
Well, you really don't prepare me well for these
No, I like to put you on the spot.
You know what? I'm gonna get personal for a second. In school I was the worst at public speaking. I was the girl that went up, shook my paper the entire time, read the script, and then just ran back to my seat and was so thankful that I didn't get sick in front of my classmates.
Aww,
So I know this has nothing to do with the community or the businesses
that's
that we
okay.
serve.
This is a
but
personal show.
Man, I'm so glad that I'm standing here talking to you today.
That's great.
And it's, I'm not shaking. That's pretty awesome.
Well, and I've seen you give a few different presentations. You've done a great job. We're excited that you chose to work here in our community and settle here. And I understand you also just recently got married. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, you didn't know I was going to do this, but a plug to you guys. I bought a house here when I got the job a couple years ago, and just outside of town. Love it. I worked with First Federal, and then we got married. So we got married out of country, came back right in time for all of this to go down.
Good
Yeah,
timing.
She got married right before the pandemic.
That was
all
great
her fault.
timing.
Yeah, so we had to cancel our reception.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's okay. It's okay. We're here. So we got settled in. TJ moved into my house, and then we went and refinanced at First Federal.
Perfect.
And I gotta tell you, it was great. We went online, filled out the initial paperwork, and then Stacy Wilson gave us a call. Said, hey, we're gonna help you out here. We'll refinance. It was so easy, so painless. And now I gave up half my loan. I'm ecstatic.
Well, that's awesome. I feel like now everyone's going to think that's why we invited you on the show today. Thank you so much for that.
Okay, let's get back to business now. I am glad to be here. I think we've made a lot of changes. Right now it's so hard to know how to move forward.
Right.
We had to reschedule the annual gala, which is our business meeting. We've had to reschedule that once already. We're looking ahead to what to do about the car show and chili cook-off. So, everything here is up in the air too, but we're happy with what we've been able to provide our businesses and the support that we've been able to. So I think there's going to continue to be changes. We have to change in order
Right.
to move forward. So we'll continue to look ahead. There's a lot that I'm working on behind the scenes, and then presenting that to the board next month. So I think by the time I'm here next month with Moose, we'll be able to announce that to the community.
That's great. Well, we'll look forward to that. What's been the main topic of communication that you've been having right now? I know it's such a strange time. What's been the overriding topic that you've been working on?
One thing that we're really looking at is how can we continue to promote our small businesses when they can't be open.
Yeah.
That's been so tricky. And we have some that have had to just close. We have some that have a really good online presence and they're able to sell their product to online consumers, but for their older crowd that may not have access online,
Right.
or for those that just aren't fortunate to have that, it's been tricky. And so one thing that we're looking at is how can we provide our businesses with resources to continue to move forward. There's some restaurants in town are doing a wonderful job. They came up with a great curbside pickup system. There's some that are offering family-style dinners. But we really need to work together and say, okay, what can each restaurant take from others? What can we continue to learn from one another and say, you're doing that really well, and how can I implement that and make it my own? You
That's
know, we
great.
have so many restaurants here that have such a unique offering.
Yes.
They can really learn from one another without stepping on toes. And that's one thing that we're really blessed to have here in Rochester and Fulton County. So we're working together. I have something going on with the Miami County Chamber. I think we'll have a nice webinar set up in 2 weeks that we can really collaborate, come together and say, retailers, what are you doing? What can we be doing? How can we move our presence online? How can we continue to push your product out the doors and help other people?
That's great. You know, one thing we always think about at First Federal too is, you know, we don't always have to reinvent everything. Let's make sure we talked with all our peers and collaborators around, find out what the best things they're doing, share what we're doing, be really open. It sounds exactly like the best way to help the community of businesses here too, and that's really exciting. Okay, thinking of that, does your organization get support and collaboration from others? You mentioned Miami County Chamber. That's a good example. Is there statewide chamber resources, national? How are you getting some direction and support too, Jillian?
Yeah, so we're part of a couple different organizations. There's a national organization, the Association for Chamber of Commerce Executives, that I'm a part of, and we do weekly webinars.
Oh, that's good.
How to support people. And then we also are part of a statewide association too, the Indiana Chamber Executives Association. So between the two of them, I've been sitting in on a lot of webinars, conversations. How do we move forward? You know, just from a chamber perspective, one of our interesting challenges is we completely operate on membership dues. So if people aren't able to pay,
Right.
we can't work, and unfortunately, we haven't been able to qualify for any of that federal relief. So this is a really interesting time, and we were very fortunate. Maybe not so fortunate for the small business owners, but from a chamber perspective, you know, I think it's important to be open. We were able to send invoices out in January, and most of those dues were collected. Now, for those that hadn't been able to pay yet, there's letters going in the mail today that we've extended the due date for membership. We want to continue to support our members. We want to give you opportunities for advertising, for collaboration, and we know that everyone's struggling right now. So we've extended the due date through June 30th, and then we've also included payment options. So if you need to do a monthly or quarterly payment, there are options available.
Well, that's great. All right, so we talked about at the beginning of the show Governor Holcomb's announcement today. You're probably really interested in waiting to hear what that might be, and maybe you already know what that is because I know you're so plugged in.
I gotta tell you, hold on real quick.
Yeah.
People keep calling. We don't get any secret info.
Oh, okay. I was wrong too.
I gotta stop you there. We don't know more.
Okay, so you're in the same boat I am. We're wondering what's going to happen. Now, how are you helping businesses kind of prepare for that reopen, or what are those conversations looking like?
Yeah, we're encouraging people to look ahead, to be prepared for that reopening. It is going to be a soft opening, and unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get the news today that we were hoping
Yes.
for. I hate to say that, but I've had some conversations too. I don't think we're going to get what we're hoping for. But let's practice safe social distancing. I know Tanner and I have our mask on today. So make sure that you're sanitizing, that you're hand washing, that you're keeping your employees 6 feet apart if you can. If not, that you're regularly wiping down, staying sanitized. But then also look ahead. So what we talked about earlier, making sure that you have a plan for reopening. You know, do you need to incorporate more curbside sales?
Yeah.
Do you have the staff? We've been talking to people that they don't know when they can hire their staff back. Go ahead and have the conversation with them. Say, hey, we're hoping that within the next 10 to 14 days we'll be able to bring you back. Do you have your daycare set up? Or is your childcare arranged? You know, just go ahead, have those conversations, see what your staff needs are too.
Well, that's a good way to be proactive even before maybe your business is going to have the opportunity to green light go.
Right. To start thinking about those things, how can you move forward, and then what do you need to restock? We have so many, I've learned a lot from some of our retailers about the seasonal items and how they have to continually rotate. So do you have the next season ready? You know, do you have the Dam Landing, do you have your cheese curds back? Ready for
Please
my
get
curd burger.
Delicious.
But as they become available, you know, we're all having to adjust, but make sure that you're ready. looking at your inventory, looking at your staff, and that's the most important thing is your employees have gone through all the changes too. You know, I sympathize with the small business owners, with all of our leaders, but also those employees, they don't know either.
Right.
So reach out to them, have the conversation, and we need to all be empathetic with one another because we're all learning. We're all just trying to get through it. You know, the employees, you know, give your owners, your bosses some grace. Bosses, business owners, give your employees some grace. We're all just trying to figure this out.
And the best we can, hour by hour.
Yes. And how many hours do we have left? We're about 6.5.
Those weekends are critical, aren't they, for renewal? Well, we've been speaking with Jillian Smith, Executive Director of Fulton County Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much for all the communication you've been doing here locally, helping keep all our business owners connected and our other community members connected, and it was great having you here this morning.
Well, thank you, Evan. Appreciate it.
Okay, trivia answer. Paul, you looked at my sheet. How many businesses are listed on the business directory search on the Chamber's website? A, 156, B, 256, or C, 356?
Yeah, I'm still trying to get the
I'm
mask
telling you.
prevents. Yeah, you're mouthing it to me, but I can't see. Well, since Tanner had to count them all, I'm guessing A's not an option because that's an easy number to remember. 256.
You're correct. You're right. Amazing job. That's a large number. I think that's fantastic.
It is.
It's a tribute to the Chamber and the job that you and your organization, the directors and staff have done, Jillian. Great job. Okay, words of wisdom this morning from the Oracle of Omaha, Warren Buffett. Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago.
Love it.
Go get your seedlings by May 9th, on May 9th.
Yeah,
From the
plant a new
parkboard.
tree so somebody can sit in some shade. In
That's
a few
right.
years. All right, look forward to having you guys
Thanks,
back
Paul.
next week. Thank you.